I'm Mike Waugh, so that's where the Waughsome comes from, and we're Waughsome Farm. We're a pick your own farm on Abbey James Road in Prairieville. So we have about 12 hives right now. We didn't pull any honey last year, but this year is going to be a good year. We already pulled some pretty early. For the blueberries, we put these in 3 years ago. Basically on the pandemic lockdown, we had a little extra time on our hands, and we were like, hey, there's Jack, speaking of father-in-law. So we planted these in blueberries 3 years ago. Last year that late frost hit them all and we didn't get any. But this year they're looking pretty good. Still kind of small plants, but they're getting there. The ones that do the best are the ones that are kind of well draining or on the higher ground here. So those were 3 years old. Then we started with the blackberries up here. Let me park right here. So these are all rabbit eye blueberries, which grow better down here. So we're a little far south for blueberries. But then these varieties right here, it's mostly picked out right now, but these were pink lemonade. A couple here and there. When they ripen, they turn pink like this. And they're super sweet. They're usually a little bigger than this. This is like the last of the pickings here. But and these were really good, and a lot of people like them. They picked them out already, so we're going to get more of these pink lemonade blueberries. And they grow really well too. Kind of low maintenance and tasty fruit. Early tasty fruit. What's not to like about that? So we'll look at the blackberries over here. Let's find a good spot. These tend to get picked out when people see the first one. So it comes a little deeper into the patch here. So we have 31 rows of blackberries. I've marked the variety here. But the earliest ones are these Arapaho. Most of the varieties come from, or were developed by the University of Arkansas. Thornless erect blackberries. So we have Arapaho, we have Ouachita, and Osage, and we're getting a couple other varieties put in this year too. The Arapahos are the earliest ones, and they make just really nice big blackberries. The best picking for a blackberry is if it just kind of falls off in your hand. It's a good ripe one like that one, and they're big and sweet like that. And it doesn't take long whenever they're as many fruit as we have right here. Doesn't take long to fill up a bucket. It's almost just being like at the supermarket and you just stand there. Most people talk about, oh, whenever I went and got blackberries, they're just like full of thorns and you have to wear long sleeves and things like that. These are just really easy to pick. Blackberries grow on a 2-year cycle, basically. So the second-year canes are the ones that put on fruit. And so this is a second-year cane. Called a floricane because it flowers and makes berries. These are the primicanes, so these are the ones that just grew this year. We'll eventually top them right here and attach them to this trellis like this. And then these, once all the berries get picked off of them, we cut them off at the ground, and then we're done with those. And every year, these will go on this trellis, and then next year the new ones will go on the other trellis over there. These have 5 leaves. These have 3 leaves. I know people are always asking me how to do the blackberries. So
yeah, that's great information because we're going to start growing some too, and we would love to know also.
Yeah, and we built these trellises, and then underneath we have the plastic weed barrier, and underneath is the drip tape, and that's where we water and fertigate, which is put water-soluble fertilizer into it. And we really needed that last year because that drought. It didn't rain for like 3 months, and we were out here pretty much constantly watering. This is actually a peach tree. This has only been in the ground for 2 years. Wow. There's water there. So these are peach trees. We actually got some peaches off of them. We tried to get early varieties of peaches because the ones that grew in my yard, the later varieties, they would get bugs or the critters would get them. So these early varieties, we were able to get some fruit They were super ripe and juicy. They were just awesome. They were really popular. They got picked out in just a short amount of time. So I think we're gonna commit to doing like a block of peaches, and we'll have those. It'll take a couple years for those to come into fruition. But next year we should have only about 9 of the 21 peaches that we had out here put on fruit. So next year I'm hoping we'll get 21 of 21 putting on fruit, plus the ones that we plant over there. What else? We have mulberries kind of mixed in. We just can't help it. We got to have like a variety of things because we have the bees. We're always interested in having flowers and bees and like that. So on this side we do have some figs. These are 2-year-old fig trees, and they're going to put on fruit more like in the summer. They've been getting that fertilizer, but I'm starting to see some fruit here. So maybe late July, August, we'll start seeing some figs. And everybody is like, oh, I can't believe you got figs. We're going to be over here. I'll be like, well, it's going to be July, August, so we'll see if you want to come out here and pick them. But I think we will. We usually do the picking sessions in the morning and the late evening to avoid most of that Louisiana heat. So we like to see people out here for figs. But total, yeah, we got about 10 acres planted. So with the figs, we got some plums. The plums are these V-shaped trees, and we also have some persimmons in there. Persimmons will ripen in the fall. We might have to be a year or two out from having persimmons. And then last year when we opened for blackberry picking, it was so popular, we went ahead and put in a couple more acres of blackberries and blueberries. So we'll have even more next year. Eventually we might have to have just like a shuttle going around because it's a pretty big property. It'd be about 10 acres planted.
Wow.
At that point.
What's your sweetest blackberry?
My favorite tends to be the Osage. I call it like a sub-acid, so it has a sweeter profile. This year it's all the way on the other end. We have the Osage because there's about 6 different varieties of blackberries we have planted out here. This year the Osage are a little stressed. The humidity, and they're kind of getting a fungal disease, so they're not doing as well this year as they did last year. But whenever you find a good one, it's nice and sweet and just one of the best ones out here, I think.
And what was the other one that started with the O? How do you say it?
We have Waughsome.
Okay.
And then Waughsome and Osage.
Waughsome and Osage, okay.
Are the ones that start with an O. And then Arapaho. And we got another variety called Triple Crown. And then there's these ones called Boysenberry that are like the old dewberry type variety. They're thorny and they kind of sprawl around. It's like that old, I don't know. We don't like them. They're a pain to manage. So we're pulling those out and putting in other ones, including a variety called Kiowa, which is an Alabama variety that makes a really big berry. It has thorns, but it's supposed to be worth it, like a big sweet berry.